Okay, it's time. What's the date?
Today's date?
Yes, today's date. No.
Today
The date
is...
in 5 days. Yes, I want today's date.
Today is November 19th, 2019.
Right. And we are doing a paid reading.
An extended reading,
Yeah,
yep.
it's an extended reading. And we're going to let the goddess bless us with her wonderful sage.
She put that right in my face.
I didn't mean to do that. I had to set the space.
I know you had to set the
smoke
space,
doesn't
but
work good for you.
no, it doesn't. I'm a little asthmatic. Okay.
That's not good at all then.
Okay.
All right, so here we
Hi,
are.
guys.
We are going to do a focused reading. But before that, we're going to talk about today's energy a little bit. We have Uranus on one end and Mars on the other end. Okay? So Mars is all about fight. It's all about our passion, our drive.
It's very intense energy. It's very masculine energy.
And it's like at 0 degrees in Scorpio. So Scorpio is a fighting sign. You know, Mars rules Scorpio. But Mars being at one and Uranus at the other, Uranus is surprises. Now, if you don't have any planets at 0 degrees Scorpio, and we'll give it a few degrees orb, like the person's chart we're about to do for the reading is, by the way, a Leo Ascendant reading. Leos, if you're out there, another Leo Ascendant. I know, every video I've been doing, that's just how they're coming in, and we do them first come, first serve. So this is how it's working. It's not a preference to a sign. It's all done by timing.
They seem to come in that way in groups because people feel the energy and then they feel the need to ask for help.
Yeah, and so it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So
it happens that way.
This aspect, the 0 degrees Mars, and Uranus is at like 3 degrees on the opposing energy, which is Taurus, right?
Yep.
Taurus is down here and Scorpio's down here. So if you have planets, look in your chart. If you have planets, we can give an orb of about
2 degrees.
2 degrees. So what we're here, instead of talking the orbs and all that, what we'll do is we'll say from the 21st to the 28th of November.
Yeah.
From the 21st to the 28th of November, you're going to want to know where 0 degrees Scorpio is in what part of your chart, and where Uranus at 3 degrees is in what part of your chart. What it means is it's where Scorpio and where Taurus is in your chart. So if you know what houses those are, then you understand what you're going to be feeling. And basically, it's an irritating time. You feel irritated. What were we giving a good example of before? It was about being kind of combative to the degree where somebody pisses you off about something that always pisses you off, and you usually bite your tongue.
Yeah, it's
example
one of those...
time. She's got another great example.
Another great example. My husband, God love him, he's a great guy, but there's a lot of things that he just doesn't pay attention to a whole lot. So I usually just bite my tongue and go along with it. And we were driving up the road the other day. We were going to the hardware store.
She's going to do this story. Oh, shit. Steve's going to... Go ahead.
And he said, should I turn at this one road? And I said, no, just keep going straight because you can turn into the parking lot just a little further up. And he's like, okay. So I looked down at my phone, and I'm looking at my phone because I try not to really pay attention when he's driving because he tends to do things that kind of scare me sometimes. And...
every wife is like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And we were in a really severe car accident when we were first dating. And ever since then, I get really nervous because my doctors basically told me that if I'm in another severe car accident, they're going to have to fuse my neck. And I don't want to do that. So I try not to pay too close of attention when he's driving. So anyway, I was looking down at my phone, and I looked up several minutes later, and I realized that he had driven way past the store where we needed to go. And I'm like, where are you going? And he goes, what? And I go, you drove right past it. And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, you drove past it. Where are you going? He goes, well, why didn't you tell me to turn in? And I go, what, I have to watch where you're going? And he goes, well, you should have told me to turn in. And I go, well, why didn't you know where to look? We go there all the time. Most of the time,
We need to put a camera in the car is what I'm coming on the conclusion of.
most of the time
camera
when
on the-
he
under
is
the dash.
driving, I don't say anything. I just watch where he's going and I just point. I just do this. So that he knows where to...
Yeah, there you go.
I just point where to turn. So that he just knows. So I don't have to say anything.
And you weren't pointing at this time.
And I wasn't pointing this time, and he just drove right by. I was so pissed.
So did you blow up? That's what this
I
is
didn't
all
blow
about.
up. I just said, turn here. Turn here.
But this is
turn
something
here.
that happens, it's common.
It's common. It happens all the time.
time.
It's been going on for 25 years.
Right. And so many times you just will bite your tongue. And so that's what this is.
And I didn't bite my tongue this time.
This is what, oh, I thought you said you did. This is what
Well,
Mars
I
opposing.
kind of did and I kind of didn't.
Uranus
and
looks like.
coming up for the next week,
Oh, right.
I have to be really careful.
Yes. Yes.
That I make an extra effort to really bite my tongue and not say anything, because this next week it could get really ugly.
Yeah, 21st to the 28th. So here's the recommendation. This will occur typically with people that you're close with.
The people that
Okay.
you're the closest.
The people you're the closest with. So for her,
the people
this
that
is-
you live with.
Right. Well, it depends on where it is in your chart. But, right, typically they're the closest people. But for some
Yeah.
people, this could happen in their work.
Well,
Depends on where this
true,
happens in your...
true.
Like your husband. He's really close to the people. He's been working with them for like, how long? 30 years?
30 plus years.
Yeah, they're like family there.
Yeah,
You know? So depends
yeah.
on where this happens in your chart. Just remember, everybody's buttons are being pushed at this time. So the 21st to the 28th, we're just saying, be aware.
Yeah.
But the recommendation is, because it's such a powerful time, you know, you were saying, I'll just zip it up, not say anything, be quiet. But understand, the energy is still there. And so to hold it in,
still going to get pissed.
you're going to be bubbling and boiling inside, and that's not healthy for us, right? So there, you've got to find an outlet. You've got to find some way to let it express in a healthy way.
You're going to have to find a way to go and do something physical to exert the energy.
Yeah,
and
one
get
dude
it
was
out.
like, yeah, Steve likes to go out in the back and chop wood.
Yeah.
Shit's bad.
He
Where's
really
Steve?
does.
He's out back chopping wood. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's wonderful. That makes sense. And
Yeah.
he comes in, he's just like, I feel so much better. You know, that's what works for him. He doesn't have to go out and, you know.
He will literally, he'll go out and he'll dig holes in the yard.
Yeah, go out and dig holes. Whatever it is, you know, you do what you got to do. You figure out what that is for you and do it.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the 21st to the 28th, all right?
Now, keep in mind the 21st to the 28th, we're talking about Thanksgiving week here in the United States.
Yeah.
This is a big holiday
It
here
is.
in the States. So
It
if you
is.
live here in the States, keep in mind you're going to have all your family around. So be careful.
Be on your, yeah.
Be on your best
Yeah.
behavior.
Just, you know, my sister and I, we used to joke around. She would always say, I got to make sure there's a lot of buffers around. I got to make sure there's a lot of buffers around. So she would be like, she would be strategic about it in advance. She would know who was going to be present, you know, who were the people that press your buttons normally,
Yeah.
and understand, just keep other people around who basically keep you balanced.
Right.
Who somehow provide a buffer so that it's not perfect, but yet it's manageable. It's
Right.
doable.
Right.
It's the holidays. You see these people once a year.
Right.
For some of us, right?
And I
So-
know, I'm going to hear my mother-in-law going, she's coming over on Thanksgiving, and I know I'm going to hear it from her.
I'll
because
just create some sort of a chocolate diversion.
she's
I'll
going
go to the food.
she's
create a
going to be
chocolate
my
diversion.
buffer.
Create a chocolate diversion. She loves fudge. Maybe that's what I'll do. Make her some fudge.
Oh, we should make her
We'll
some
make her some
fudge.
fudge, and
That'll
that'll
make
keep
her
her
happy.
quiet. Yeah.
That will keep her quiet.
Yeah, that'll keep her happy and quiet. I mean, what the hell, right? So you do these things.
She just sits there and
Right. It's just being smart. Use your brains and plan, right? Plot it out. So let's move on
Okay.
and let's give out a birth date for this reading. Okay.
Okay,
Again, this is
so-
Leo Ascendant, and here is the birth date.
here's the birth date. It is September 1st, 1970. That's September 1st, 1970 at 3:48 a.m.
Okay, here
So
we go.
this is our extended reading.
An extended reading. These are affordable readings. By the way, this is G.
And
This
I'm
is
Amy.
Amy, and this is All Astrology. If you are new here, we do free readings for every subscriber one time, a high quality reading. Comment your birth info below, and we'll hook you up. Just go ahead and comment. and we'll take care of you. All right?
So we're going to start with, for this person, November 26th, which is coming up. That's next week. You've already gotten the advance notice about the current energy. So coming up on the 26th, which is next week, is a new moon. This is at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. New moons, these are always important because you want to set down intentions about what you want. This is going to be in Sag. Sag is always about your belief system, what's important to you, how you think, your philosophy about life. And for this particular person being a Leo rising, this falls in the 5th house, which is about joy, fun, creativity, children, romance. This,
taking risks.
Yeah, risk taking. This is
Sports.
the house ruled by Leo, so it's all the Leo kind of stuff. And so you want to set down intentions that involve those aspects. What is it that you really want? How do you really feel? What's important to you in regards to those parts of your life? So set down some intentions. Think about those. Concentrate on those. Meditate on those things.
In
advance. And here's a really good idea for you. Since this is Sag, this is falling in your 5th house, go out, take some nice long walks, and think about these things and concentrate on these things and focus on these things. Send the kids off to school, go out and take some nice long walks. It's a good time of year where you live to go out and do that. It'd be a great thing for you to do, and to really focus and think about where you want to go in terms of those aspects of your life and how you want
the 5th house stuff.
All that 5th house stuff and how you want to focus those things. So think about that coming up and how you would like those things to evolve for you. Okay? So that's a really important thing to do. So start to think about that coming up onto the 26th. And then on the 27th, 28th, to really set those down and really make them concrete, write them down, and then to really look at them every day and for the next couple of weeks after that and really focus on them.
Yeah, think about your new moon intention like planting a seed in the ground. That seed doesn't grow by itself. We have to feed it. It needs the sunlight. This is how this intention will come true. Now, I want to back up just a little bit, because the importance of the new moon for everybody and how powerful it is. Your new moon, everyone, realize that the galactic center and Jupiter and Venus, that big weekend, which is the weekend coming up, right? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, it's all in Sag. It's all in Sagittarius. This is all in your it's in the same house.
Yeah.
It's in your 5th house. It's about your children. It's about your partner. You know, it's about fun. It's about taking risks. It's about, being physically active, maybe being involved in a sports. So it's about all these Leo things. It's about entertainment, right? Leo is also the house of gambling. And I was telling other Leo risings, I might even buy a lottery ticket this weekend of the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And I would like to hear if you win. Whatever that might be. But for you,
if you do, you might want to, get an extended reading.
this birth date here, this conjunction is at 27, 28 degrees. It is sending a beautiful trine to your natal Mars. Pull up your chart and look at it. You have a 28-degree Mars in Leo, in fire. So you're getting a perfect trine this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Which means Mars is your desire. It's your passions. It's what you want. So when it comes time, a few days later, to do your new moon intention, there's no reason this can't come true for you. I mean, absolutely. You have the galactic center. You have information from source coming down. So get in a meditative place, whether it's being creative, this happens in your creative house, or being physically active. So go walking like she suggested. I would highly recommend to you that if you can use the other side of the brain, meaning turn off the thinking side. Do something that gets you that opens up the other side. You're going to hear the information coming in.
You need to open the right side of your brain.
You're going to hear the information coming in. Now, I realize it's not just bam, it comes down on that one day. It's a disbursement, okay?
Yeah.
But you have an intent. You have a new moon coming up on the 26th, and her recommendation to make the intention on the 28th, right? Wait till the moon is fully into Sag, till it's more comfortable there. And Venus will then be more established in Capricorn, right, at that time.
Once
Tangible
Venus
stuff.
moves into Capricorn, it becomes more tangible and less ethereal.
And she understands what her responsibilities are. Right now, when Venus is in Sag, she's a little bit more about, I want things, and she's
I want
a little
pretty things.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And Jupiter kind of blows up my wants and my desires too then, because Jupiter's on top of her and says, oh, well, you know you want that, buy it. I think I even heard someone talking about while they were looking at a catalog yesterday. I heard somebody, you should have heard, oh, this looks nice. I would really like this. This is what Venus and Jupiter do. They're like, oh, these are so nice. I want these. And it was like, wow. And so you could hear it, you know.
It was a new pair of winter boots.
This is, you hear these things and you can recognize it. And so, but what happens is Venus then moves into responsible, practical Capricorn and says, okay, I know I want that, but do I need it? That's Venus in Capricorn. So at that time, we're going to also take into consideration all the big things and the experiences we've had as Venus and Jupiter touched. Because the whole goal of this intention is to dream big. Even though Venus is in practical, tangible, but dream big. Just don't spend beyond. I already put a video out about this, about people having the tendency to maybe spend at this time, this weekend when it comes up.
I may want the boots. I know I'm not going to get the boots.
I'm just speaking in general. You can ask it. Like these videos already had all this information in it about, we'll have a tendency to want to spend. But the whole point is spend here, okay? Dream really big here and set your intentions now. And I just wanted to go backwards just to explain for you specifically in your chart, you have a beautiful trine coming from your Mars in fire. And that means you have additional firepower for this new moon intention of yours.
Okay.
Okay. So we can move on to the next.
Okay. The next big date that's going to be coming up is actually right around Christmas time. It's actually December 26th. There's going to be an eclipse. And for you, this is going to be about releasing structures. This is going to be about letting go of the way in which you do certain things within your home with regard to your family and your children and your home life. And so there's going to be things that you're going to need
routines.
to,
Did you say routines? It seems like
letting go of structures and routines and
Yeah.
day-to-day things. There's going to be changes.
Yep. Because
There's
that's the eclipse. Right?
Yeah, it's the eclipse. So
Out with old.
You're going to have to let go of some old routines so that new things can come in. So be aware that there's going to be some changes that are going to be happening. And we can never make room for the new unless we let go of the old.
Yeah, I like to think of it as, you know, you got to get an update on your phone. You got to get an update on your computer. You know, you just need an update.
You always have to. The only way that you can update the software is if you get rid of the old software and upgrade the new software.
Yeah.
You know, put in the new software. And so this is basically what you're going to be doing. And that's what's going to be occurring because of the eclipse. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all going to click into place on the 26th. That means it's going to be a gradual thing that's going to occur over time. But what's going to happen is that because of the alignment on the 26th is that it's going to begin to happen. It's going to begin to make all of these things start to click into place. So be aware that those things are going to start to happen, that you need to be open and allow them to take place. Don't try and hold on to say, this is the way we do things, this is the way we've always done them, and we're going to continue to always do them this way. Don't try and put a stranglehold on the way you do things, because it's not going to serve you. All that's going to do is make it harder when you have to make those changes. And then you're just going to end up fighting yourself. And that's going to just make it all that much more difficult for you and everybody else around you when you do have to make those changes. So be open to making those changes when that time does come.
It can also be in regards, because it's in the 6th house as well, so it could be in regards to health and work.
Right.
So what you do at your job, wherever it is you work, if you have a job, changes are coming. Okay? And it's not about a bad thing. The solar eclipse is about bringing something new, something good, something beneficial.
Right.
Okay? But it's a matter of letting something old go, like she already said.
That's no longer going to benefit you,
Right.
and it's no longer going to be working for you in a positive
So
way.
that could be a health routine too.
Yeah.
A routine, something you do for work, health routines.
You know, you have to be willing to let that happen. You know, there are times when, for example, eating a certain way might work for you at one time in your life. And as you get older, you realize, oh, I can't eat that way anymore.
Yeah.
And I have to change the way I eat in order to feel healthy again. And so you have to be willing to make those changes. And it could be something as simple as that. So be willing to be open to making those changes. Okay? Now, on the 29th,
December?
yeah.
29th of December, 2019.
Now
Let me see
as
what we're coming upon here.
we're going to go a couple of days before that, and it's going to carry over. We have something that you need to be aware of is that there's going to be something very strong that's going to be driving you, and you're going to need to be aware of. Mars is going to be aspecting very strong for you. Mars is going to be very, very strong in your chart. And it's going to be very difficult for you personally to be aware of what's happening in the moment. And you may not be able to see it when it's happening, and it may not be something that you're even aware of until after it's over with, and you go back and you look at it and you go, why did I do that? Why did I act that way? Why did I lash out that way? Why did I behave that way? This is going to be happening like from Christmas to New Year's, and maybe even a little after. Keep yourself busy doing really constructive things. Keep yourself busy. The kids will be off school. Plan lots of fun activities. Plan lots of constructive activities is the best thing that I can suggest for you. Upbeat things to do, but also plan some downtime. Make sure that you schedule in time for you to disengage and to take yourself and give yourself some downtime to decompress, because it's going to be really hard that if things don't go the way you plan, you may have a really bad tendency. You may have a difficult time if things don't go exactly the way that you plan or the way that you want or the way that you intend, that you might kind of blow up a little bit about it. And we all have this tendency to be able to do this. So I don't want you to get into a situation where you're going to have this happen where you might overreact, and then you go back and you look at it later and go, why did I act like that? That was weird.
It might be easier for you to see it if you can see it on paper.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want a chart for this particular time, we can send you that, because
Yeah.
what's happening is you've got transiting Mars on top of Neptune, and those are both squaring your natal Mars, which is in Leo. You know,
Yeah, Mars-
so it's this.
Mars in Leo is, you know, that intense Mars energy,
Yes.
in that intense
Fire.
Leo energy. and then squaring, which is
Tension.
can be a very difficult, tense energy in Scorpio, which is a difficult energy too. And whenever you've got a square between Leo and Scorpio, that's always going to be a difficult square.
Yeah.
That's always going to be
Neither
a
one
difficult
wants
square.
to back down.
Neither one of those signs ever want to back
Yeah.
down.
And it's in your it's self and home. It's in your first house and in your fourth house. Okay?
Right. It's
So-
going to be between yourself and what's going on at home.
Yes.
And so you're not going to want to back down in either situation. And so,
And what other people value.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. Because it's in the sign of Scorpio. So that's what other people value. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, if it's self and others, then it's like, okay, it's what I value squaring off with what somebody else values.
Yeah.
Holidays are hard for everybody.
they're hard. Holidays are
But
just
seeing
hard.
this and seeing it on paper, to me, it helps. It's like, wow, okay,
Right.
I see this. It's a real thing. It's not in my head. It's not, And the thing about stressful energy like that, energy just is. So we
Right.
either express it this way, where we're combative, or other people in our lives can express it back to us.
to us. So it's a give and a take. So we can put it out or we can receive it.
Yes.
Okay. So and then
But remember, energy is a
becomes-
boomerang. Remember,
it goes and it comes.
what you put
Or
out
it comes
back.
and it goes.
Yeah.
So it can happen in both directions. So be aware of that. Somebody might hit your button and then you send it back, or you could hit somebody's button and they send it back to you. So be aware of that. The best thing to do when that happens is to walk away from the situation, go do something else, try and do something productive, constructive,
Yeah.
not destructive.
Yeah, some way to just get that energy out of you.
Okay? This is when these types of situations happen. This is when my
Go
husband
chop
goes out.
some wood.
This is when my husband goes out and
That'll
digs.
be our joke. Just go chop some wood, damn
Go
it.
chop some wood. Go do something productive. Go bake a cake.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. No.
My husband goes out and works
Yeah.
in the yard. I go and I
Yeah.
bake a batch of cookies or something.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. To have a plan, to have a project ready to go. Like, this
Yeah.
is what I need. This helps me chill, but yet I'm
Yeah.
still doing something, so I can, be,
It's the
letting it
holidays.
express.
When that happens, grab the kids, go bake a batch of cookies in the kitchen. That could be a really constructive way of getting that energy out. Whatever it is, say, you know what, I got to go grocery shopping, and go do the grocery shopping. Whatever it is, go find a constructive way of getting that energy out so that it doesn't become a really adverse situation that blows up in your face or anybody else's face or whatever it is, because it is going to be combative. It has the possibility of doing that. And that's the one thing that you want to avoid, because we don't ever want to be in a scenario where people say things to us that they can't take back, or we say things to other people that we can't take back.
All right.
Okay? So
Moving up to the
moving
next
up.
month.
All right. So January 12th, the big conjunction that's happening in Capricorn. And for,
Happens in your home.
yeah, and this is also going to be squaring your relationship with your siblings. Squares are difficult. They
More
can
tension.
be. It's more tension. Now, this doesn't mean that your siblings are necessarily going to be bringing tension into you. You could be bringing tension to them.
Yes, it goes both ways.
Goes both ways.
You do have some help at this time. I'm going to jump in here. You have the conjunction for people listening who are Leo ascendants. It's a 22, 23 degrees
23.
Capricorn. It's Saturn and Pluto sitting there together. So for Leos, Capricorn is in your 6th house. Okay? Now for you in particular, this chart, this birth time, it squares, you have a 24 degree Venus in Libra. That's significant relationships. likely siblings, right?
Right.
Neighbors, people who are in our environment, not your children so much, but people who are in your close environment. Okay?
Now,
So
luckily,
it could be
because it's
coworkers
Venus,
as well.
Luckily, because it's Venus,
Yes.
that lightens it.
It does. And you have help. In your chart, you have a 22-degree Saturn in Earth, in Taurus. So Saturn, it's this is what I value.
Right.
And Saturn establishes that, it reinforces that, and says, but this is an important relationship. It might affect our money. This is an important relationship. And here comes the cat, right? We're talking about the 6th house.
Never fails.
Yeah.
Hi, Zoe.
So the stress
Get your tail out of the
she's
camera.
talking about is the 12th, and we give it a few days before, a few days after, know in advance, but know that you have help, you have assistance, because you also have a sextiling Neptune at 28 degrees, which helps out, which sends its blessings its way. And that's important.
Gives it some ease. It takes some of the tension off because it lightens it, because Neptune is kind of dreamy, so it lightens it a lot.
It's very idealistic, Neptune.
Yeah.
Now, we should talk about what the Saturn and Pluto conjunction is going to mean in your 6th house. Okay, you have Capricorn, so it's about work. Okay, it can be about health. 6th house things, so projects, work projects, health projects, and there's a restriction of some sort. Now, because it's Saturn and it's in Capricorn, typically it's a time of reconstruction. It's a time, because it's conjunct Pluto, and Pluto takes things out by the root and throws them away so that something new can begin. So see a theme? The same theme we heard about earlier for the eclipse, right? On the 26th of December. This time to get rid of the old and bring in the new. It's the same thing. So it's happening for all of us. It's just a matter of where in our life it's happening. So this is in your work and in your health, okay? We're going to have something new coming. We are starting something new. We're releasing something old, and it's going to be deeply transformational. But at this time, because of this intense conjunction, it feels like we're being restricted. And so some people, if it's work, there might be a lack of work at this time. Just being real. You want to know this in advance. There could be a lack of work in that area.
Right.
Okay? You could feel some restriction in your health. However, Jupiter is entering the scene for you into your 6th house. It's entering the house of health. Expansion, right? So it's kind of like you have a little bit of a balance helping you out there.
Right.
I know we had another date we wanted to talk about. Did I jump ahead too fast? Where am I at?
No.
January 12th. So we're gonna jump ahead for you a little bit.
No, we're fine.
And we're gonna go to March. All right? Because March signifies a time when
that's when Mars actually goes into your 6th house.
and you get some help, yeah.
When Mars goes into your 6th house, whenever Mars goes into your 6th house, it's always a thing that you have to be a little careful of, being cautious of getting a little bug, a little cold, a little bugaboo, maybe a little virus. So just a little heads up. It's not a big deal. Just be aware of that. So the 1st of March, that could come up for you. You might feel a little run down, might get a little sick. Be aware of that. Okay?
At that time, I'm just seeing something else that I realize in the chart. I would pay extra careful attention, because this is exactly 9 degrees. Okay? And so there's another square setup, but it's the beliefs about your body, right?
Yeah.
It's the beliefs about, initiating things, and it could have to do with the health. It could have to do with work. Okay? So just realize there's going to be a little tension in your head around that. And this is a fast transit. It doesn't last forever. Okay?
And it's only a few days.
But it might strike you in a way where, because it's squaring with your Chiron, and your Chiron, it typically signifies our deepest emotional wound. So you might feel like you might feel like something presses a button in terms of childhood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because it typically can also be a past life thing too. But just have the awareness about this. Now, Mars going through your 6th house also can give us a sense of vitality. And so we might have the desire to work harder than before and to get lots of stuff done. So in other words, just be careful that you're not overworking yourself, just that you're being balanced, that you're moderating the output of your body at that time.
Yeah.
That's all this means, okay? Because if there's an emotional thing attached here, well, our emotions run us down even more, okay? So just be aware of that. All
I
right?
natally have Chiron in my 6th house, and whenever Mars goes through there, I always get sick. But that's because I have Chiron there, natally. I just always get sick whenever Mars goes through my 6th
Definitely
house.
going to be a balance issue, though. I want you
Yeah.
to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely going to be a balance issue.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just,
And if you're not keeping track, there could be some surprises. And you don't want that, you know?
Yeah.
And in relationships balances it, actually.
Yeah.
So you want to keep your relationship life and your work life. It's tricky, I know. It's very tricky, keeping all that balanced.
it's a juggling act.
And you're going to have to really work at it at this time, okay? That
Yeah.
will be something that you'll need help with. But you do have help. When we look to your other things in your chart, you've got some earth stuff that comes in and sends some nice surprises possibly coming on your way too.
Thankfully,
Right.
the way things are set up for you, for everything that comes along that's going to bring some difficulty, you've got things that bring you ease.
Yes, like her 8-degree
Oh, yeah.
earth sun,
Sun,
right?
yeah.
So at this trying time that we're talking about, it exactly
also-
trines your sun.
Which
Is vitality.
gives you vitality.
Right.
So while you've got this possibility of maybe getting a little run down, you've also got your vitality, which is going to pull you through it. So, you know, it might be that you get a little run down, you feel a little under the weather, but it's not going to last.
Right,
You're
Mars
gonna-
moves fast.
It's going to move fast. You know, you might feel a little run down for a couple of days, but you'll be fine. It's not going to be a long-term thing. Okay.
Now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about April, and we're going to use April to wrap this up for you, okay?
Yep.
We wanted to pull out the biggest events that we could see that were kind of just prominent
Yeah.
for this extended reading, which is, by the way, a very, very, very affordable reading, people. Just
Yeah.
comment down below. We'll let you know, and we'll work with you.
Okay, so this one in particular,
this is power time.
this is your This is a
when-
major power.
Yes.
This is a time
Where
for
you shine, man. You shine at this time.
This is going to be a time for you to have. You are going to have the ability to get things done
in a big way.
in a very, very big way.
This is
You
a
are going to
Pluto
have
trine.
ways to get projects done, to set goals, to
Accomplish them.
accomplish everything that you need to, that you're looking at. So this may actually be a really great time that for these intentions that you're setting, that you're looking at for those changes that are coming up in the next month or two. This may be a really great time to really set those into motion and for those to really come into fruition, because this is such a really powerful time for you. So,
This is in areas of work.
Yeah.
This is in areas of health. This is in what you value. We know what you value. Your
Yeah.
sun and your moon, by the way, which is a very rare aspect. You have your sun and your moon pretty much together. You value being organized. You value structure. You value the tangible quality things.
yeah.
And having recognition for doing a good job. This is that time. If you're employed, if you're working, this is that time. It's very likely to get recognition, whether that means a bonus or whether that means a promotion. There's a really nice setup in your chart for this to be very powerful and to
Yeah.
just be able to accomplish stuff that others can't accomplish at this time. So whatever you do, realize you have a Pluto trine, which is power on top of power. Pluto is like,
And
dude, I got this.
This is deep stuff.
Yes,
This is the
powerful.
stuff that is deep at the root of who you are.
Yes.
That is going to be included in this. So be aware of this, that the things that you're going to be able to accomplish are things that are not just surface things that you're going to be able to accomplish, but things that are going to stick.
And it's transformational because it's Pluto. So this, what you're going to be doing, whatever it is you're going to be doing at this time, is likely something that you've already got in mind, things you've been working on. But this is the time where it's like, okay, it's like all systems go. Things are starting to line up, and I can take this thing not only to the next level, but I can then
expand it
and share it and start to, just put it on a platform, whatever this is.
And you can expand it because Jupiter is going to be involved in, and Jupiter
Yes.
is all about expansion.
Yes.
So,
I want to know, I want feedback on this. Like, this is exciting when we see things like this. It's like, wow, what's this going to be? They have free will. What are you going to do with it?
This is a really powerful time for you come April. So this is great because of the way that this is a time where things that are at the deepest level of who you are and things that you can accomplish for the person that you are, for the organized, very critical-eyed person that you are.
Detail-orientated, definitely.
Detail-oriented.
Virgo energy, yes.
Oh my gosh. Who really, really values
things being done by the book.
Yeah.
Not taking shortcuts.
Yeah.
You don't do that in the workplace. And so, the highest integrity and taking care of responsibilities. This is all part of that. This is in your 2nd house, your 6th house, and your 10th house. All right?
Yeah.
So take a look at your chart. Again, if you want, we can send different dates. That's not a big deal. But yeah, this is powerful. And I hope that something really beautiful comes from this. There's a lot of power here.
This is going to be really transformational energy as far as being able to get everything done and lined up for you moving forward in these new directions that you're setting for yourself and for your family.
All right, with that, we are going to wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.